Hello and welcome to the news at 10, reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Dennis Adegunloye. Let's begin with the headlines. Unspecified number of students abducted at Government Girls Secondary School, Jangebe, Zamfara State. New EFCC chairman receives agenda at first meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari. SANU and NASSU call off industrial action. Plus, NDLEA inaugurates special purpose committee to aid in fight against drug abuse. And we begin with some breaking news that suspected armed bandits have kidnapped some students at Government Girls Secondary School, Jangebe, in Talata Mafara local government area of Zamfara State. Zamfara State Commissioner for Information, Suleiman Tunau Anka, who confirmed the unfortunate incident, said the government stormed the school around 1 a.m. today and abducted the students. He, however, says the actual number of abducted students is yet to be ascertained. We will bring you more details as this story unfolds. President Muhammadu Buhari this Thursday held a strategic meeting with the newly appointed EFCC chairman, Abdul Rashid Bawa. State House correspondent Adam Musambu reports.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. Marathon interaction with the Senate. Thank you very much, Excellency.
This is the first formal engagement between President Muhammadu Buhari and the new EFCC chairman, Abdul Rashid Bawa. The meeting is coming barely 24 hours after the confirmation of Bawa's appointment by the Senate in line with the provisions of the EFCC Act. The agenda of the meeting, held behind closed doors, was not made public, but NTA News gathered that the new helmsman of the anti-graft agency was in the State House to formally appreciate the president for the trust and confidence reposed in him. Mr. Bawa also used the opportunity to reassure the president of his unshakable resolve to discharge his mandate conscientiously, without fear or favor, and with high sense of responsibility, patriotism, as well as accountability. The EFCC chairman did not speak to newsmen after his engagement with the president, but he was said to have promised the Nigerian leader that under his watch there will be no sacred cows in the fight against corruption. President Buhari congratulated the new appointee and assured him of every support and encouragement in the task of recovering the nation's assets from those who abused public trust, no matter their status. From the State House, Adam Musambu, NTA News.
The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, says with Nigeria's exit from recession, the major target of the federal government now is to bring down the rate of inflation to below double digits. Giving further details on the current state of the nation's economy, the minister said pushing the GDP growth far beyond the population growth is also a priority so that the impact of the genuine efforts by government can be adequately felt by Nigerians. Here again is State House correspondent Adam Musambu.
Addressing newsmen at the maiden edition of the State House media briefing, Finance Minister Zainab Ahmed explained that Nigeria's exit from recession was largely on the back of non-oil growth, as well as the critical interventions by the federal government.
The National Assembly was very, very critical in this process, because without wasting any time, they were quickly able to pass an amendment to the MTEP, an amendment to the budget. They were able to sit with us and review the economic sustainability plan and gave us the flexibility that we needed, including accommodations to incur deficits that was higher than the deficit that is defined in the Fiscal Responsibility Act. Every country needed to do that, and in an exceptional circumstance, the Fiscal Responsibility Act allows us to borrow more than the 3% to GDP threshold to be able to manage a national emergency.
The level of borrowings by Nigeria, she however insists, is neither high nor unreasonable as being insinuated in some quarters.
Our borrowing is still within healthy, sustainable limits. What we need to do is to concentrate on growing revenue, because we need to be able to roll out infrastructure now, not later, to be able to enhance the business environment and grow the economy at a pace faster than the rate at which we are growing now. If we say we will not borrow, and therefore we will not build rails and major infrastructure until our revenue rises enough, then we will regress as a country. We will be left behind. We won't be able to improve our business environment, and our economy will not grow.
She said by any term or description used, the Nigerian economy is already diversified, but efforts are still on to increase the size of investments and revenue that the non-oil sector yields to the economy.
There has been a 1 trillion naira infrastructure company that has just been approved and inaugurated by His Excellency the President. The InfraCo will finance public sector asset development, rehabilitation and reconstruction, as well as invest in cutting-edge infrastructure in roads, rail, power, as well as other key infrastructure. We will be hoping to have a Federal Executive Council approval to compel federal government agencies to buy made in Nigeria vehicles as much as is practical. We're hoping to also engage the state and encourage the states to take similar measures. It is important for us because we want to make sure the automotive industry survives and grows.
The minister also confirmed that though some federal government assets will be sold, the refineries are not part of those items to be so privatized, and the primary objective is not to finance the budget, but to bring those assets to economic use in the best interests of the country.
I must say that the change of the service chiefs that His Excellency the President has approved has reinvigorated the security space and provided new hope for the country, and we're already beginning to see the positive outcomes that this particular action that His Excellency the President has taken. Security is significant because it has an impact on agriculture, which is the mainstay of the economy.
The special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, said the State House briefing is organized to always keep Nigerians informed as the Buhari presidency sustained efforts at taking Nigeria to the next level.
Ministers and other top government functionaries will come in to explain what is happening to the Nigerian life.
The State House media briefing will be held weekly. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The industrial action embarked upon by members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, and the non-academic staff of universities, NASSU, has been called off with effect from today, 26th February 2021. The Secretary of NASSU and spokesperson of the Joint Action Committee of the two unions, Peter Adeyemi, disclosed this after a closed-door meeting between the committee and representatives of the federal government. Joseph Otsen reports.
Under the umbrella of Joint Action Committee, the two unions have been negotiating with government to come to an understanding and call off the industrial action. This particular deliberation has yielded positive results.
Those areas that needed to be harmonized have been harmonized to the satisfaction of both parties, and resulting from that development, we have agreed that this ongoing national strike in the universities and inter-university centers should be suspended.
Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, expressed government desire to restore normalcy in the universities for full academic activities to strive.
With the normalcy restored in that university system, we intend to do the visitation panel, which is one of the agreements we reached with them, and which cannot be carried out without normalcy in the university system.
Since the 5th of February 2021, the two unions embarked on strike, demanding better funding, payment of allowances, and improvement of welfare packages. In Abuja, Joseph Sound Oten, NTA News.
This is the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Still ahead. House urges INEC to restore some constituencies in Oyo State. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
Thanks for remaining with us. Now, drug abusers are in for a tough time. This is because the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, is involving the larger society to aid the fight against illicit drug use and trafficking in the country through its newly inaugurated Special Purpose Committee. Abdul Malik Hassan has more.
Honor and special privilege to inaugurate this august body to be known as the Special Purpose Committee of the NDLEA.
These are members of the Special Purpose Committee. They are selected from different groups in the society to include the academia, members of civil society organizations in drugs rehabilitation, medical doctors, youth and traditional rulers, among others. The members are to engage in public policy discourse and implementation on drugs, in addition to coming up with suggestions that will aid in the fight against illicit drugs use and trafficking.
But this is the first time the NDLEA itself is stepping out to harness the resources that abound in this country to support this fight. With your membership coming entirely from outside the agency, you will be our think tank.
Attributing criminal activities bedeviling some parts of Nigeria to drug use, chairman of NDLEA says all hands must be on deck to rid the country of the menace.
Unless we get to the root cause, which is drug abuse, unless we deal with it, we will only be scorching the surface, and the criminalities will continue to increase.
Guests described the constitution of the committee as a major milestone towards achieving a drug-free society, urging those engaged in illegal acts to refrain. In Abuja, Abdul Malik Hassan, NTA News.
Now to talk more on the NDLEA's Special Purpose Committee to aid in the fight against drug use is the National Coordinator, Vanguard Against Drug Abuse, Dr. Hope Omeza. Welcome to the News at 10.
Thank you very much.
All right, just tell us, what are the implications of this committee on the fight against drug abuse in Nigeria?
Yeah, we are convinced that this is going to enhance the existing strategies that has been employed in campaigning and fighting against drug abuse in Nigeria, and also to bring in innovative methodologies that will prove productive as we move forward in fighting drug abuse. In the speech of the NDLEA chairman, he highlighted that bandits now also request for drugs, as ransom. That tells you how, the fight against drug abuse is taking a new dimension by the day. As such, we can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. Yeah. So it's important that we have this on board now, where ideas, innovative methodologies will be brought on board to champion this fight.
Certainly new ideas have to be brought in. What would you make of the membership of this committee?
Yeah, a very fantastic constellation of personalities, in that committee. For example, the chairman of the coordinator of that committee, in person of Lanre, he was the NDLEA chairman from 2006 to 2010, thereabout. And he had a very commendable report with respect to his activities while as a chairman. It was during his tenure that the United America removed Nigeria from the drug list. At the same time, he was able to expand the scope of NDLA across the country and ensure that thousands of staff were, admitted into that agency to beef up what they have on ground. So with this track record, we are convinced that for his capacity, he will be able to deliver on the mandate given for this committee.
Absolutely, certainly expect that given what you said about his antecedents. Now, the NDLEA has made quite a number of arrests in the past few weeks. What would you say has been responsible for this new drive? Are we talking about the same officers still in the agency?
Yeah, of course, the same officers still in the agency, but we have a new leadership now in the agency, and who, by his own antecedent again, you can be sure that, we are not surprised. I'm not surprised that what is happening in the recent time is coming true because of the personality that we have on this. He's been ticking the right boxes ever since he came on board. And just the inaugurated committee yesterday is also one of the boxes that he has ticked. And then we see him doing a lot. And the commitment is there, the passion is there, and the experience is there.
All right, with the new leadership of this committee, you seem quite confident that we will certainly witness giant strides in this fight against drug abuse in the country. No doubt you see the Nigerian drug story changing for the better. We have seen recently that we've deteriorated to levels that we exited some years back, but now you're confident that we can certainly make significant progress.
Sure.
All right, and what is your message to those who get involved in illicit drug use and trafficking? What can you say to them with regards to how this committee is now going to hit the ground running?
Yeah, actually different messages for the different chain in drug abuse. Now, for those who are involved in trafficking, drug abuse, the message is they need to change their business. They need to get something else to do and stop trafficking drugs for the destruction of the society. Now, for those who are just on the end of consuming, we need to begin to look at drug abuse as a public health problem where they actually need help. For those who are already addicted, it's actually a public health problem than a social failure. But however, the advice to them is it is not worth it to get into this drug abuse, considering the social, health, and other consequences that this brings to the user.
All right, Dr. Hope Omeza, thanks for being with us in the studio to discuss this issue, and we certainly wish you and the new agency progress going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right. Now, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, confirms 634 new cases of COVID-19 in 21 states and the FCT. The breakdown, according to states, indicates that Lagos still leads with 255 new infections, followed by Osun with 45, then Edo State with 38. Ogun has 35, the FCT 33, Anambra 26, while Imo and Ondo record 24 new cases each. Other states with new cases include Akwa Ibom and Plateau, recording 20 new infections, Abia and Kaduna 19, Ebonyi 17, Borno and Rivers 10, Kano 9, Delta 8, Kebbi 7, Nasarawa 4, Oyo 3, while Enugu and Ekiti record 2 new cases each. Nigeria has now 154,476 confirmed cases of COVID-19, out of which 131,699 have been treated and discharged. The death toll now stands at 1,891. Now let's turn our attention to the National Assembly, where the Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, has informed the international community that Nigeria's war against insecurity will soon be won once and for all. He was speaking when he granted audience to the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Catriona Lang, where he explained that the change of service chiefs is one of such renewed measures by the federal government to address insecurity. Addressing some of the concerns raised by the High Commissioner, Senator Lawan stressed that the 9th National Assembly is keeping no stone unturned in ensuring that quick passage of critical bills, especially the Electoral Act Amendment Bill and the Petroleum Industry Bill.
The change of service chiefs by Mr. President itself was significant and instructive, because to bring in a fresh set of people to head the services tells that story that we want to see an improvement in the way and manner we fight insurgency in Nigeria.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to restore 8 state constituencies in Oyo State, in line with the judgment of a federal high court. In a motion raised by Chairman House Committee on Information, Segun Odebumi, the lawmakers noted that the restoration would ensure the people of the affected areas in Oyo State exercise their right to representation.
From the day of judgment to date, no equal or superior court has set aside the court decision, which under reference.
The court judgment was passed back in March of 2013. In other news, governors of the 19 northern states have concluded their meeting in Kaduna with a resolve to work in synergy with security agencies for the safety of all schools within the region. Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports that the forum also agreed to look into humanitarian challenges in IDP camps, stop intra- and inter-border porosity to check movement of criminal elements, and invest in rural areas to curb farmers-herders clashes. The forum, after receiving reports of the various committees, resolved to look into them for possible implementation, urging state governors to strengthen partnership with their colleagues in other parts of the country to entrench unity, tolerance, and harmonious coexistence among Nigerians.
To collaborate with the various state governments towards achieving this noble objective. The forum resolved to address all humanitarian challenges facing the internally displaced persons through provision of enabling facilities and reintegration back to their communities. The forum further resolved that all the states would work in synergy with the security agencies to address the intra- and inter-border porosity in order to arrest illicit/illegal border movement. The meeting resolved to collaborate with meaningful individuals and corporate organizations to invest in areas of agriculture and mining industries in order to improve the economy of the northern region and Nigeria at large. The forum calls for due diligence in the execution of the federal government initiatives in the economic sustainability plan, wherein 700 billion naira is earmarked for the project in order to address farming, animal husbandry, and other agro-allied business. The effort will create job opportunities, thereby creating wealth for our teeming population.
In the meantime, Ministry of Defense Major General Bashir Magashi is seeking support of the United States of America in the quest to establish a fully fledged Nigerian Army aviation to further enhance the ongoing counter-terrorism campaign in the Northeast. A statement by the Special Assistant on Media and Publicity to the Minister, Muhammad Abdul Qadri, says the bilateral request was a sideline from the visit of Commander U.S. Africa Command, General Stephen Townsend, to the Ministry of Defense headquarters, Abuja. The statement notes that the minister commended the U.S. for its military support to Nigeria and the progress recorded in the supply of the Super Tucano aircraft, thunderboats from maritime operations and logistics to the multinational joint task force. The visiting Commander U.S. AFRICOM, General Stephen Townsend, expressed gratitude for Nigeria's leading role in Africa sub-regional security affairs and commiserated with Nigeria over the recent aircraft mishap that claimed the lives of 7 crew. Now, the Deputy Secretary General of the United Nations, Amina Mohammed, says her office will continue to support Nigeria to realize the Sustainable Development Goals, especially goal number 16. The UN Deputy Secretary General stated this when she paid a courtesy visit to the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa. Kenneth Nanim reports.
Through the Sustainable Development Goal number 16, the United Nations intend to achieve peace, justice and build strong institutions by the year 2030. To achieve this vision, in Nigeria, the United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed urged leaders at all levels to unite and brace to the challenges of insecurity and the impact of COVID-19 on institutional development globally.
When government is trying to deliver on its services, the rights of the people, the social contract, the institutions are really the bedrock on which this will exist. And
the SGF boss Mustafa commended Amina Mohammed for her leadership role at the global level, especially in the procurement of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine against COVID-19 for the country. He lauded President Muhammadu Buhari's initiative to establish the Economic Sustainability Plan and the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. These strategies, he explained, are responsible for the success recorded in economic recovery and to contain the spread of coronavirus.
And it is the combined effect of the robust national response of the COVID-19 Presidential Task Force and the Economic Sustainability Plan that has helped Nigeria and aided Nigeria to exit recession within such a very short time after having recorded negative growth in 2 quarters.
The SGF also urges Nigerians to disregard all sorts of conspiracy theories about COVID-19 vaccines and accept them when they finally arrive shores of the nation. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Still ahead, remains of Nigerian Air Force officers involved in fatal crash in line of duty laid to rest in Abuja. Stay with us.